I was scrubbing a pan in the kitchen, the smell of last night's tacos still lingering, when Emily's voice cut through like a dull knife. "Mike, you left the garbage can overflowing again," she said, not looking up from her phone, her fingers tapping away at the screen. She was slouched on a stool at the counter, in her usual yoga pants and oversized hoodie, her tone sharp but casual, like she was commenting on the weather. The trash had maybe half a bag, nowhere near spilling. I set the pan down, dried my hands on a towel, and leaned against the counter, eyeing her. It's Thursday. Pickup's tomorrow. It's not even full. You want it out now, just say so." My voice was calm, but I let a little steel slip in, signaling I wasn't here for her games. She didn't look up. "It's not about when it's picked up, Mike. It's about you not pulling your weight." Her words were clipped, rehearsed, like she'd been waiting to drop this line. Another test, another jab to see if I'd jump. I raised an eyebrow, keeping my tone light but pointed. "Not pulling my weight. I cooked dinner, mowed the lawn, and paid the cable bill this week. If a half-empty trash bag's your deal breaker, let's hear it. What's the real problem?" I crossed my arms, staring her down, daring her to say something real. Her eyes flicked up, and she gave me that half-smile, the one that screamed she was already 3 moves ahead in her head. "Don't make this a thing, Mike. Just take it out. It's not rocket science." Her voice was sweet, but it had that condescending edge, like she was talking to a kid who forgot his lines. I smirked, not budging. "You didn't ask, Em. You threw a jab. If you've got a problem, spit it out. I'm not your errand boy, and I'm not playing guess what's wrong." My tone was steady, but there was a bite to it, a quiet warning that I saw through her act. She sighed, loud and dramatic, like I was the one making her morning harder. "You're so sensitive. It's just trash, Mike. Forget it. We'll deal with it tomorrow." She waved her hand, dismissing me, her eyes back on her phone like the conversation was over. Tomorrow. There it was, her favorite dodge, her escape hatch. I wasn't letting it slide. "No, we're dealing with it now. You want to talk about weight? Let's weigh it. I'm working overtime, keeping this house running, while you're curating your Instagram. If you're keeping score, let's see the scoreboard." My voice was calm but sharp, like a blade slicing through her deflection. Her fingers froze on the screen, and she looked up, her jaw tight. "You're unbelievable. I do plenty around here, Mike. You just don't notice." Her tone was defensive, but there was a waver in it, like she knew she was on shaky ground. I laughed, short and dry. "Plenty? Like what, Em? Scrolling for smoothie recipes? Planning your next girl's night? Name one thing you've done this week that wasn't for you." I kept my eyes on her, my voice steady, letting her feel the weight of her own words. She opened her mouth, then closed it, her face flushing. "You're such a jerk," she muttered, grabbing her phone and storming out of the kitchen. I didn't follow. I took the trash out, tied the bag, and dropped it in the can outside. She wants to play queen? She's ruling an empty throne. That night, I got home late from the logistics firm where I work. It's not a flashy job, coordinating shipments, untangling supply chain messes, dealing with drivers who miss deadlines, but I'm damn good at it, and it pays for the house, the cars, and Emily's endless Amazon orders. I'd been pulling extra hours to cover for a guy on paternity leave, and she knew it. Didn't stop her from texting me at 4 p.m., "You're late again. Dinner's cold." I didn't reply. Text fights are a loser's game, and I wasn't playing. When I walked in, the house was dark except for the flicker of the TV. Emily was sprawled on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, scrolling through her phone, some reality show about rich women fighting over handbags blaring in the background. No sign of dinner, cold or otherwise. "Hey," I said, tossing my keys on the counter. "What's with the cold dinner text? You didn't cook." My voice was casual, but I wasn't letting it slide. She didn't look up. "I was going to, but you weren't here, so I didn't bother. We'll eat tomorrow." Her tone was flat, but there was a barb in it, like she was daring me to argue. I leaned against the doorway, letting out a small laugh. "So, you're pissed I didn't eat food that doesn't exist? That's a new one, Em. You want to tell me what's really eating you? 'Cause this ain't about dinner." My tone was light but pointed, cutting through her deflection. Her head snapped up, and her eyes narrowed. "Don't twist this, Mike. You're never here. I'm not your personal chef, waiting around for you to grace me with your presence." Her voice was loud now, almost shouting, with a hint of condescension, like she was scolding a dog. I stepped closer, keeping my voice steady, almost amused. Never said you were. But don't text me about cold food when there's no food. That's just noise. I'm working, Em. Overtime pays for this couch, that phone, your yoga classes you never go to. If you're lonely, say it. Don't invent stories. My words were calm, but they landed like a jab, and I saw her flinch. She stood up, tossing the blanket aside, her voice rising. You think you're some hero because you work late? I'm here, Mike, holding this place together while you're out doing God knows what. You don't get to act like I'm the bad guy. Her hands were on her hips, her face flushed, but there was a crack in her armor. She was reaching for control and missing. I grabbed a soda from the fridge, cracked it open, and took a sip, letting the hiss fill the silence. Holding it together? Em, the fridge is empty, the laundry's piling up, and you've been on that phone for hours. If you're running the show, where's the show? Or is this all just a performance for me? My tone was cold, deliberate, like I was laying out evidence in a courtroom. Her mouth opened, then closed, and she pointed a finger at me. You're so full of yourself, Mike. Acting like you're the only one keeping us afloat. I do plenty, and you don't appreciate it. Her voice was shaking now, but it was more frustration than confidence. I tilted my head, letting a grin slip. Appreciate what, Em? Your TikTok marathons? Your disappearing acts? If you're doing so much, give me the list. I'll wait. I leaned against the counter, sipping my soda, watching her squirm. She froze, her fingers still in the air, then turned and stormed upstairs, muttering, "We'll talk tomorrow." There it was again, tomorrow. Her go to Dodge. I didn't follow. I ate a protein bar, flipped to a basketball game, and crashed in the guest room. No yelling, no chasing, just a line drawn. She wants to run? She's running alone. The next morning, I was up at 6 a.m., brewing coffee and checking work emails. Emily came downstairs in her pajamas, her hair a mess, her face still carrying last night's irritation. She didn't say good morning. Instead, she went straight for the jugular. I'm going to Sarah's tonight, she said, pouring orange juice into a glass. I need a break from all this. She waved her hand vaguely, like the house, or me, was some kind of burden. I stirred my coffee, not looking up. Cool. Have fun. You staying over? My tone was neutral, like I was asking about her grocery list, but I knew she was fishing for a reaction. She hesitated, her glass halfway to her lips. Maybe. I'll let you know tomorrow. Her voice had that calculated edge, like she was waiting for me to beg for details, to show jealousy or insecurity. I didn't bite. Sounds good. Text me if you need a ride back. I grabbed my mug and headed for the door, my voice still calm. I'm late for work. She called after me, her tone sharp. That's it. You don't even care where I'm going? Who I'm with? Her voice had a hint of desperation, like she needed me to chase her. I stopped, turned, and looked her dead in the eye. You're a grown woman, Em. You don't need my permission to hang with your friends. But don't expect me to play detective just because you're dropping hints. You want space? You got it. Just don't cry when it's empty. My words were calm, but there was a warning in them, a quiet promise that I wasn't her puppet. Her jaw tightened, and she gripped her glass like it was a lifeline. You're such a jerk, she said, her voice low but shaking. I didn't respond, just walked out, got in my car, and drove to work. She wants to test me? She's gonna fail. At work, I was in the middle of a meeting with my boss, Karen, and a client who'd botched a shipment schedule. The client, some guy named Tom from a mid-sized retailer, was trying to pin the delay on us, his voice loud and smug. Your team dropped the ball, Mike. We're losing money here. I leaned back in my chair, flipping through the shipment logs on my tablet. Tom, let's look at the facts. You changed the delivery window 3 times last week, didn't confirm the final slot, and your warehouse guy signed off late. My team moved mountains to get your stuff out the door. If you're losing money, check your own house first. My voice was calm, professional, but there was a steel edge to it, and I saw Karen nod slightly. Tom blinked, caught off guard, then mumbled something about checking his records. Karen jumped in, her tone smooth. Mike's got a point, Tom. Let's sort this out and move forward. The meeting wrapped with Tom eating his words, and Karen gave me a quick, nice work as we left the room. Back at my desk, I felt the contrast. At work, I was in control, respected, calling shots. At home, Emily was trying to turn me into a punching bag. Not happening. That night, Emily didn't come home. She texted at midnight, staying at Sarah's. Back tomorrow. No apology, no explanation. Just another tomorrow. I didn't respond. I hit the gym, ran 7 miles until my lungs burned, and crashed in the guest room. No calls, no texts, no begging. She wants to play hide and seek? She's on her own. The next day, I got home from work and found Emily in the kitchen, stirring a pot of pasta, her hair tied back, wearing a tight top and a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Hey," she said, her voice soft, almost flirty. "I'm making dinner. You hungry?" It was a performance, and I saw it coming a mile away. I set my bag down, leaning against the counter. "You're cooking now? Thought you were on a break." My tone was light, but there was a bite to it, calling out her act without falling for it. She turned, her smile tightening. "Can't I do something nice for my husband?" Her voice was sweet, but it was the kind of sweet that hides a hook, like she was trying to reel me back in. I crossed my arms, my expression flat. "You can, Em, but don't act like last night didn't happen. You bailed, didn't call, and now you're playing Martha Stewart. What's the angle? Trying to make me forget the last 3 weeks." My voice was calm, but I wasn't letting her dodge. Her smile faltered, and her voice went cold. "There's no angle, Mike. I went to Sarah's. I needed a night out. Why are you making this a big deal?" She turned back to the pot, stirring harder, like she could grind her frustration into the sauce. I stepped closer, my voice low but sharp. "It's a big deal when you disappear and expect me to clap like a trained seal when you come back. You want to play nice? Fine. But don't think a pot of pasta erases tomorrow every other day. I'm not that hungry." I grabbed my gym bag and headed for the door, leaving her with her performance. She called after me, her voice sharp. "You're impossible, Mike. I'm trying here, and you just push me away." There was a hint of desperation in it, like she was losing her grip. I turned, my voice cold. "Trying? Trying isn't disappearing and expecting me to wait. You want to try? Start with honesty. Until then, I've got a treadmill calling." I walked out, letting the door close behind me. She wants to pull me back? She's going to have to do better than that. The next week was a chess game. Emily doubled down on her routine. Phone, silence, jabs disguised as jokes. "You're working late again? Guess I'll just order takeout tomorrow," she'd say, her voice dripping with mock disappointment. I'd respond with a shrug and a "your call," refusing to take the bait. I started doing my own laundry, cooking my own meals, keeping my side of the house in order. Not out of spite, but because I wasn't relying on her to play nice. One evening, we were at a backyard barbecue at Sarah's place, a casual thing with her friends, some neighbors, and Emily's cousin, Rachel. The air smelled like grilled burgers and citronella candles, and people were laughing over cans of soda. Emily was holding court with Sarah and Lisa, her voice loud, her gestures big, like she was performing for an audience. I was by the grill, chatting with Rachel's husband, Dave, about the Braves' latest game, when Emily's voice carried over. "Mike's been so busy saving the world at work, he's forgotten how to have fun. Right, babe?" Her tone was teasing, but it was loud enough for everyone to hear, and there was a sting in it, like she was trying to paint me as the boring husband. The group went quiet, eyes flicking to me. Sarah smirked, sipping her lemonade. Lisa looked down at her plate. Dave raised an eyebrow, waiting for my move. I turned, a small grin on my face, and looked at Emily. "Saving the world? Nah, just keeping the lights on. You know, for your phone, your girls' nights, this whole setup." I waved my hand at the house, my voice calm but sharp, loud enough for everyone to hear. "If you're bored, maybe plan something that doesn't involve complaining. I'm game." I took a sip of my soda, holding her gaze, letting the words sink in. The group froze, and Sarah's smirk vanished. Emily's face flushed, and she laughed, but it was forced. "Wow, Mike, way to make it weird," she said, her voice tight, trying to play it off. I didn't let up. "Weird? You threw the first shot. I'm just returning fire. If you've got a real problem, say it. Otherwise, let's eat." My tone was light, almost playful, but it was a knockout punch, and everyone knew it. Dave chuckled, and Rachel gave me a quick nod, like she respected the move. Emily grabbed her drink and walked inside, muttering, "We'll talk tomorrow." The group moved on, but I could feel the shift. People saw me hold my ground, and Emily's jab had backfired. She wants to play in public? I'm not her punching bag. The next day, I was at a diner with Jared after work, grabbing a burger and a soda. He was halfway through a story about his kid's soccer game when he paused, eyeing me. "You're quieter than usual, Mike. Still fighting the good fight at home." His voice was casual, but there was concern in it, like he knew I was carrying something heavy. I took a bite of my burger, chewing slowly, then set it down. "It's a chess game, man. She keeps moving pieces, expecting me to follow. I'm done playing." My voice was steady, but I could feel the weight of it all pressing in. Jared leaned back, sipping his soda. "Been there. Early in my marriage, my wife pulled something like this, testing me, pushing buttons, seeing how far she could go. I let it slide too long, and it nearly broke us. Finally told her, 'You want out, say it. But don't expect me to beg.' It woke her up. 'You gotta draw a line, Mike, or she'll keep pushing until you're gone.'" His tone was blunt but supportive, like a coach who'd seen the game before. I nodded, my mind turning. "I'm drawing it. She's just not ready for what happens when I do. No more waiting. No more tomorrows." The breaking point came on a Saturday. Emily was on the balcony, sipping a bright pink drink, wrapped in a blanket, scrolling through her phone. I'd spent the morning cleaning the garage, not because she asked, but because I needed to keep my hands busy. I was tired of the dance, her pulling away, me waiting, her dangling tomorrow like a carrot I was supposed to chase. I walked out to the balcony, sat across from her, and set my soda down. "Em, we need to talk. Now." My voice was calm, but there was no warmth in it, just steel. She didn't look up. "Not today, Mike. Tomorrow." Her tone was dismissive, like she was swatting away a fly. Her eyes glued to her screen. I leaned forward, my voice steady but hard. "No, Em. I'm done with tomorrow. I'm done with your tests, your jabs, your disappearing acts. If you're not in this, say it. I'm not living in limbo anymore." My words were cold, deliberate, like I was laying out a contract. Her fingers froze on her phone, and she looked up, her eyes wide. "What are you saying, Mike? You want to break up?" Her voice was soft, almost scared, but I could hear the calculation in it, like she was testing how far I'd go. I didn't blink. "I'm saying I'm not your doormat. You've been stringing me along with tomorrow for weeks, keeping me on a leash while you figure out if I'm worth your time. I'm done waiting. You're either here, or you're not. Pick a side." My tone was cold, final, like I was closing a deal. She laughed, but it was nervous, unsteady. "You're overreacting. I just need time, okay? We'll figure it out tomorrow." There it was again. That word. I stood up, my voice low and final. "There is no tomorrow, Em. You've burned through them all. I'm not your backup plan, and I'm not your punching bag. You want to figure it out? Do it now, or I'm done." I kept my eyes on her, watching the panic creep into her face. Her face went pale, and for the first time, I saw real fear in her eyes. "Mike, come on. Don't do this. We can talk, okay? Just tomorrow." Her voice was pleading now, but it was too late. I shook my head, a small smile tugging at my lips. "You've had enough tomorrows. I'm not waiting for another one that never comes." I turned, walked inside, and pulled the folder I'd prepared from the desk drawer. Divorce papers, filled out during my lunch break the day before. I'd met with a lawyer, not out of anger, but because I was done being an option. I set the folder on the counter and looked at her. "You've got 2 weeks to sign. I'm not fighting you on this. I'm just done." My voice was calm, almost gentle, but it carried the weight of a decision made. She stared at the folder, her mouth open, then looked at me. "You're serious? You're just done?" Her voice cracked, but I didn't waver. "Yeah," I said, my tone cold and final. "You want it tomorrow? Here it is." 2 days later, she texted me. "Can we talk? I didn't mean for this to happen. Can we figure it out tomorrow?" I read it, then typed back, "Tomorrow's over, Em. Sign the papers." I hit send and turned off my phone. 10 months later, I'm in a new apartment downtown. It's smaller, but it's mine. No echoes of her voice, no half-empty promises clogging the air. I've got my routine, coffee in the morning, work, gym, maybe a soda with Jared on Fridays. Life's quieter, sharper, like a blade honed clean. Last week, I ran into Emily at a coffee shop. She was alone, her hair dull, her eyes tired. She saw me, hesitated, then walked over. "Mike," she said, her voice soft, almost broken. "I messed up. I didn't realize what I had. Can we talk?" I looked at her, calm, steady. "We talked, Em. For months. You didn't listen." My voice was even, No anger, just truth. Her eyes welled up, but I didn't flinch. I'm sorry, she whispered. I thought we had more time. Tomorrow. I cut her off, my voice cold and final. There's no tomorrow, Em. You used them all. I'm living today. I paid for my coffee, nodded politely, and walked out. The street was alive with noise, the air crisp. And for the first time in years, I felt free.